America is in a deep hole, a financial abyss that seems almost impossible to climb out of. A $250 trillion debt hole. This isn't just a number, it's a monumental burden that weighs heavily on our nation. It's a staggering sum. Unthinkable, really. For many, it's hard to even comprehend what such a figure means in practical terms. How did we get here? This question echoes through the halls of history, demanding answers. It's a complex story. Decades of decisions have led us to this precipice. Choices made by leaders influenced by the times and driven by necessity or ambition. Some were necessary, others questionable. We fought wars, investing heavily in defense and security. We've faced recessions, trying to stabilize the economy. We've tried to help those in need, creating social welfare programs to support the vulnerable. All of it came at a cost. Every decision, every policy, added to the growing mountain of debt. Borrowing became easy, and the debt grew. Credit was extended, often without sufficient foresight. The national credit card was maxed out again and again. Each time the limit was pushed further, with little regard for the future. Now the bill is coming due. The consequences of our actions are catching up with us. This isn't just about numbers on a balance sheet, it's about our future, our children's future, the legacy we leave behind. The burden of this debt threatens to suffocate our economy. It limits our choices, constrains our potential, it holds us back from investing in our future. Projects that could drive growth and innovation are stalled. We need to act, and we need to act now. The time for complacency is over. We must confront this challenge head-on for the sake of our nation and the generations to come. Before we continue, if you like this video, please remember to share it with your friends. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then watch some more of our videos. In 2017, a new chapter was added to the debt saga. The U.S. government under the Trump administration introduced sweeping tax cuts that promised to reshape the economic landscape. The Trump tax cuts, while championed by some as an economic boon, blew a massive hole in the budget. Supporters argued that these cuts would stimulate the economy, creating jobs and increasing wages. The promise was that they would pay for themselves through economic growth. The idea was that by reducing the tax burden on corporations and individuals, there would be more investment and spending. That promise has not been fulfilled. Instead of the anticipated economic boom, the growth has been modest at best, and the deficit has ballooned. Instead, the cuts primarily benefited corporations and wealthy individuals. The wealth gap has widened, with the rich getting richer while the middle and lower classes see little benefit. The trickle-down effect, a staple of conservative economic theory, never materialized. Small businesses and average workers have not seen the promised benefits. The result? A deeper debt hole and fewer resources available for crucial programs. Public services, education, and infrastructure have all suffered as a result. It's a classic case of short-term gain for long-term pain. The initial boost was like a roller coaster ride, thrilling at first but ultimately leading to a steep decline. The sugar rush of the tax cuts has faded. The temporary high has given way to the harsh reality of increased debt and economic instability. We are left with the bitter aftertaste of mounting debt. Households and the government alike are feeling the strain of financial mismanagement. This makes it even harder to address the challenges we face as a nation. With limited resources, tackling issues like healthcare, education, and infrastructure becomes increasingly difficult. As we move forward, it's crucial to learn from these lessons and strive for policies that benefit all, ensuring a more stable and equitable future for everyone. Amidst the debt debate, one program often finds itself in the crosshairs: Medicaid. A safety net for millions of Americans, it provides health care to low-income families, children, and people with disabilities. It's a lifeline for those who need it most. But Medicaid is also expensive. Its costs are rising, driven in part by an aging population and the increasing cost of healthcare. This makes it a target for those seeking to cut spending. But cutting Medicaid is a double-edged sword. While it might save money in the short term, it could lead to greater costs down the road. People without access to healthcare are more likely to delay seeking treatment. This often results in more serious and expensive health problems later on. Section 4. The Limits of Taxation. So, what's the solution? Some argue we simply need to raise taxes. It's tempting to think that we can tax our way out of this mess. After all, the wealthy have benefited disproportionately from economic growth. Surely they can afford to contribute more. And yes, raising taxes on the wealthy is part of the solution. but it's not a magic bullet. We can't simply tax our way to prosperity. Excessive taxation can stifle investment and economic growth. It's a delicate balance. We need a tax system that is fair, efficient, and promotes economic growth. One that asks everyone to contribute their fair share without discouraging innovation and entrepreneurship. It's a complex equation with no easy answers. Section 5. The Perils of Inaction. The consequences of inaction are dire. A mounting debt burden threatens to cripple our economy. It could lead to higher interest rates, making it more expensive for businesses to invest and for families to buy homes and cars. It could also lead to inflation, eroding the value of our savings and making it harder for families to make ends meet. In a worst-case scenario, it could even lead to a sovereign debt crisis. Imagine a future where our economic security is held hostage by our debt, where we are forced to make deep cuts to essential programs or face economic ruin. It's a future we cannot afford to create. Section 6. Striking a balance. The solution to our debt crisis won't be easy or straightforward. It will require tough choices and shared sacrifice from everyone. It demands a balanced and thoughtful approach. We need to cut spending, but we need to do it in a way that protects the most vulnerable among us. We need to raise revenue, but we need to do it in a way that doesn't stifle economic growth. We need to invest in our future, in education, infrastructure, and research, to create a more competitive and prosperous economy. It's a delicate balancing act, but it's a challenge we must meet head-on. Our future truly depends on it. Section 7. A call for unity. In these times of unprecedented challenges, we find ourselves at a crossroads. The decisions we make today will shape the future of our nation for generations to come. The time for partisan bickering is over. We must rise above the fray of political discord and focus on what truly matters, the well-being of our citizens and the future of our country. We can no longer afford to let ideology trump pragmatism. The debt crisis is not a partisan issue. It is a national emergency that demands immediate and unified action. The debt crisis is a threat to all Americans regardless of political affiliation. It affects our families, our communities, and our future. We must come together to find sustainable solutions that will benefit everyone. We need leaders who are willing to put aside their differences and work together for the common good. Leaders who prioritize the needs of the people over party loyalty and personal gain. Leaders who understand that the true measure of a nation's strength is not the size of its military or its economy, but its ability to care for all of its citizens. A nation is only as strong as its most vulnerable members. We need a government that works for all Americans, not just a select few. A government that listens to the voices of its people and acts in their best interests. The challenges we face are great, but so too is the American spirit. Our history is filled with examples of resilience, determination, and unity in the face of adversity. We have overcome great challenges before, and we can do so again. From the Great Depression to the Civil Rights Movement, our nation has always found a way to rise above and emerge stronger. But it will require us to come together as one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clock is ticking, let's get to work. Let us remember that our strength lies in our unity, and our future depends on our ability to work together. The time for action is now. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and watch more of our great videos. Thanks for watching!